one of us all over the screen.
I thought you were going to say they're blank, and I went to tablet mode and came back for the first time in 10.1.22 today, and no Metro apps would have any UI whatsoever for me after I came back.
Yeah. Hey, Brandon, we're live.
Well, hello again, everybody. That's it. That's the end of our discussion tonight.
And I just wanted to make a comment about RDP, but
joining us. I think what does RDP stand for?
Remote Desktop Protocol.
That wasn't what I was.
I knew that, but there's got to be something better that it could stand for.
Yeah, I'm saving mine for After Dark. I'll save mine for After Dark. Remind me.
Come up with a dirty acronym.
I do. I have one. Just remind me in After Dark.
Oh, Robert missed.
Oh, here goes Robert with the typewriter. Get ready for the cha-ching sound.
Breaking news from the newsroom.
Now I'm like self-consciously typing very lightly.
And failing at it.
I'm failing.
Hey, you know what this is?
What's the newsroom? What's the newsroom?
No, I was just because he was typing. You know, like
right.
The old newsroom typing sound. Hey, you guys know what this is?
Well, what is that?
This is the 25.4 podcast.
Oh, it is.
Hastily assembled program presenting inside opinions and forecasts on major issues of the day.
True story.
After what I think is a well-deserved week off, we're back. And Tim seems to be MIA, but Brandon and Robert came out to play tonight. What's up, fellas?
I wanted to play last week, but y'all just cut me off.
Yeah, exactly. How did you start the show? How did you phrase that exactly? After a well-deserved week off? Exactly.
Yeah, right?
Who was it that deserved the week off?
Yeah, who deserved the week off? Explain
I think we all deserved it because we've been killing it on the podcast. For 20, 22, 21 straight shows, I think,
straight.
by my calculation.
Well, mostly straight.
Straight bi-curious, maybe.
75% straight. See what I did there?
I do see. 66.6% tonight. So anyway,
what's going on, y'all?
We're back tonight, and Brandon is busy stuffing his face with sweet and sour chicken, I believe.
In the background?
Now his wife is going to guest appear on the show.
Can you see what you have in the background?
Yeah, that's right.
We can't see it. Your lower third's hiding it, whatever it is.
Right.
Is it porn?
I'm in a different room tonight. You may or may not notice, mostly because the walls are painted the exact same color. However, you don't have the usual curtains right over here, I believe. So I am in a different room. I'm not going to tell you which room of our house it is.
Fascinating.
We did watch 50 Shades of Grey the other night.
It's the it's not the red room.
It's not the red room, correct.
I'm gonna go with it's the scrapbooking room.
Good guess. Okay, well, let's move on.
All right, let's get right into it then.
Let's do this.
With the airing of grievances, I got a lot of problems with you people.
Yeah, I'm in a great mood tonight. I don't have any problems with anybody. What about you guys? I'll think of something while you guys are talking.
Go ahead, Bobby.
I mentioned this on Twitter last week, and it kind of really, it's irritating. And it's not just the MSN Weather app not using the Bing image on the lock screen. It's using whatever its weather background is on the lock screen, which I think is kind of stupid. Why not use the Bing image? And this all came up because, I don't know if you're aware or not, but WeatherFlow, one of the best weather apps, probably, I think, the best weather app on Windows Phone, has been there since the beginning, no longer published. Became too expensive. Wouldn't make any money. So now that that's pulled, I've had, okay, what do I have? Well, I don't like any other ones, so I've just Bing Weather. But I can't put this stuff on my lock screen because it pisses me off that I can't use the Bing image with that lock screen. And it's the same thing, like, this is a relatively simple task. I mean, if you put it in TFS and you assign it to a developer, a competent developer could probably knock that out in, what, a day? No problem. Same thing with the transparent start tile for the OneDrive app. How long did we wait for a transparent tile for the OneDrive app? And I'm like, why is it that we can't get just these little things done with these apps? Why is it constantly these little annoyances that we have to put up with? It's like, it's that syndrome of Microsoft going almost all the way up to the line and just refusing to step the fuck over it.
Would you call that edging?
Yeah. I would call that edging with no release, and that's not good.
You know what what Microsoft needs to do with that? They need to follow the example that Android has set forth, as they announced today with version M, and they're gonna focus on quality.
Yeah, what is version M is what, Android 6?
At least.
A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah, 6.
F,
I think it's
G.
version 6.
M is 13, so
More than that, yeah, it would be like that, right?
I don't think they do them that way, do they?
No, I think Lollipop was 5.
Yeah. M is whatever M stands for.
What do they do with all the other letters?
4.1, 4.2.
Them damn point releases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Kit Kat was like 4.2.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that point taken. You just, you go, Microsoft, let's have a round of app development focused on quality 5 years after Windows Phone debuted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know their resources are elsewhere, but I mean, look, Skeleton Crew, you assign one engineer to all these apps, and you just have them go do all the little shit. That's how you make people happy between now and Windows 10. Is you just do the little shit.
Hey, I'll do it. Hire me, Microsoft. I'll do it. For real, I'll do it. Just hire me. I'll do all the Windows Phone work. No problem. Just give me a call.
Don't you have a job, Brandon?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But I've been open with my boss. If Microsoft comes to me, see you later. I'm out. So yeah. Do have a solution for you though, Bobby. I use a lock screen app called Awesome Lock, and I highly recommend it. It does a lot of cool stuff and puts it right on the lock screen, including weather information with a Bing background.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll take a look at that. It's Awesome Lock?
Awesome Lock. It's
okay.
I'm pretty sure they use Comic Sans or some fucking variant within the app, which makes me want to kill somebody. But it doesn't show up on the lock screen, so I can stand it for the 3 minutes that I'm inside the app, and then.
God, who does that?
It's really bad. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. It's really bad.
I think that should be one of the new requirements when Microsoft is going through cleaning up the App Store. Anywhere it sees Comic Sans, it just pulls the fucking app, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not using what is it?
I think that's fair.
If you're not using Sago or whatever the hell they call it, WP font, just get out. I mean, just go.
I'll take a nice Arial, but Comic Sans, that developer needs to be punched in the face.
I don't know that it's Comic Sans exactly, but you fire up the app, you'll know what I'm talking
Anything
about.
close to that is.
I can fire it up and just annoy the shit out of everybody real quick too.
That's all right. I'll look for it.
My turn. My turn. Or
yeah, you have a list.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I got a couple, and these are all old because I didn't get to release last week. So, I had to laugh out loud at the WP devs that were using Google Ads and got burned by the sudden drop in impression rate or whatever the hell it was. You really expected it to end well using Google Ads on a Microsoft platform. You really thought that was going to go well? Come on, man. Just switch over to Ad Mediator, use Pub Center and Ad Duplex, like anybody else who doesn't give a shit about Google. Let's go. That's my advice.
I have a slight rebuttal to that.
Oh, okay. Fire away.
Because I do use AdMob for the majority of my ads and my Windows Phone apps. And before I use AdMob, I didn't make any money at all from ads in my apps using Pub Center.
Right.
And,
I will say that used to be true.
Stuff as well. So, I'm not in there checking my earnings every day, so I didn't even notice the drop until somebody tipped me off to it. But I think, I think Google AdMob works well. I don't know what you're showing there. I can't see that. But hold on.
Oh, that's that font he was talking
Oh,
about earlier.
yeah, that's horrible. That's worse than comics.
That's awful.
It's pretty bad. So
My
I'll
lord.
leave it up here for a second, but it's pretty gross. Anyway, no, I think that what you're saying used to be true, Andrew, but I think Pub Center got a lot better, particularly around the Windows Phone 8 time frame. I think Sebastian kind of reinforced that too in our room a while back. I also liked the CNET article that talked about how accurate Apple Watch's step counter was. Proceeded to put Apple Watch at the top of the list for most accurate step count, with a qualifier saying they calibrated the Apple Watch and they didn't calibrate any of the other ones that they tested.
That sounds like a very CNET thing to do.
Yeah. Funny enough, they actually did have an uncalibrated Apple Watch in the list, and it was like third from the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Like
Of
12
course it
devices.
was.
So, out of the box, one of the worst. After it's calibrated against nothing else that's been calibrated, it's actually pretty good.
That's
Man.
stupid.
I really hate the fucking media.
It was amazing. I was like, how is it ending up on top of all these? And finally I started reading a little bit closer, and I was like, oh, they only calibrated the Apple Watch. Well, of course. What do you expect?
Hey.
That's what calibration does.
But like that article about Kara Swisher, I don't know if y'all read that the other day. I'll have to maybe post that in the show notes or something. But just like that said, at the end of the day, they disclosed it, so it's okay. They disclosed their trickery, so as long as they disclosed it, it's okay to put that big blaring headline about the calibration being so awesome. You know? But they disclosed it, so they're cool.
Exactly.
I can't be the only one that Kara Swisher annoys the shit out of.
No, her and Mossberg both annoy the shit out of me.
I actually don't even know who they are. So.
But it's mostly because they're hacks at what they do. And
Mossberg I kind of give a pass to because he's old. Kara Swisher, I think, just kind of hangs on to his belt loop. And, like, if you ever watch any of those interviews they do with their conferences, oh, here's a grievance. The,
right.
code conference that they do now with their site Recode, and they do this conference called Code.
Mm-hmm.
It's the stupidest name for whatever kind of conference it is that has nothing at all to do with anything remotely related to programming or code in any way. Okay, that's my grievance. But if you watch her in any of their interviews, like where they, Walt and Kara sit down with, they used to sit down with Steve Jobs a lot, or whoever's there at conferences. She tries to be clever and funny and cute, and it comes across as, to me anyway, as just very condescending at times and smarmy, and it makes her look like she's really not informed.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Red Room, what do you got flashing on the side of your face, man?
It's the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
Right.
There's a kid from St. Louis that's in it. He's been in it for like 3 years in a row, and now...
I think somebody from Minnesota went pretty far, from Minneapolis went pretty far.
Well, they're down to the final two now, and this kid's still in it, so... There's no baseball on tonight, so...
Well, I will have to find that link. I don't want to misattribute who I saw posted on Twitter. I think it was Becky Nagel, but it was a link to an article someone wrote up that was really just dished a whole lot of behind-the-scenes stuff about just drama around Kara Swisher and.
Really?
Yeah, just going over
anonymously, I assume.
No. It wasn't like that. It wasn't anything that wasn't public knowledge.
Oh, I got you.
It was just backstory on career stuff, little events in history that have happened over time with her various moves, and Recode now becoming part of Vox, and basically, essentially, what this means is now instead of Kara Swisher reporting to herself or whoever she. Now she's I forget how they put it, like the highest ranking middle manager, something along those lines.
Middle management written all over.
Well, because she's going over to Vox, but going over as just another journalist. So
Just another hack.
Yeah, it's
and not a very good one at that.
And not a very good one at that. So. Well, I mean, she's going to be right at home at Vox and The Verge. I mean, there are no good Can I say that? Yeah, there are no good journalists at The Verge or Vox, so they'll be right at home.
But she does apparently have some really good inside sources, I guess, out there in the valley. So she's got that going for her.
That'll at least keep her from getting fired for a little while.
Well, let's move on to some positive stuff.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Yes, they do. Brandon, why don't you go first and talk about how cool you are?
Well, I wrote a NuGet package with install and uninstall PowerShell scripts that augment the internals of a CS proj file. Something I'd never done before, and that was pretty cool. Even if it took about 10 hours for me to figure that shit out.
You left part of that out.
No, I did not. What are you talking about?
From the show notes, from what I'm reading on the show notes.
Oh, right. Even if it took me 10 hours at work to figure that shit out.
Okay.
There, is that better? Full disclaimer, it was a NuGet package for work at work.
Oh, okay,
so
then.
I'm not a complete dumbass.
You weren't just leeching off the company time.
Correct.
There, so
Correct.
that's good.
Dumbass is the word that was actually swirling around my head just then. So
I could see it.
Well, the way I look at it sometimes, anything that I do from a technical perspective on work time is sort of improving my value to the company because
I am
educating
certainly
myself.
inclined to agree. I'm definitely inclined to agree, but not all companies do. So there might be some folks out there that, get their hand slapped for doing stuff that can't directly be tied to something that's generating revenue.
well,
Yeah.
that's no
I
way
think
we-
I'm lucky enough to be somewhere where they would agree with me.
nobody we know falls into that category.
Correct. Nobody.
No.
Nobody we know.
Not that I'm aware of.
Right. Yep. Nobody.
What other good stuff did you do?
Well, I also took a first time ever. I took a Pluralsight course, and I went 0 to 100% in an entity framework or a Microsoft Virtual Academy course. So I'd never done any of those things. I know it's always kind of been there for me to use. I just never wanted to learn anything new. So, but I learned ASP.NET MVC 4 or 5 because I've been out of the MVC game for a while.
See, and
AngularJS.
I'm an MVC developer, and now you are 2 versions ahead of me.
Right. So I also this Pluralsight course that I took was freaking nuts. It was like 6.5 hours. It was ASP.NET, Bootstrap, AngularJS, Ninject, Jasmine, Chutzpah, Entity Framework, and Azure, all in one Pluralsight course.
Damn.
It was
That's pretty
freaking nuts.
Tense, because I don't even
So-
know what half those things are.
Yeah.
Who was the author of the course? Do you know?
Sean Wildermuth.
Okay, he's good. He's really good.
Yeah, he was. It was a good course.
This is probably a newer course, but I did one of his a while back. On,
I think this one was like 2013 was the vibe I was getting. So.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I
It's
did
really
one that
beautiful.
was Angular, MVC, and I think Entity Framework. Maybe it's the same one. I don't know.
Could have been.
Because I would have
Sounds
glossed
familiar.
over the Jasmine and Chutzpah stuff because I really don't know what those are. What are those? You know,
Well-
tell me.
Yes, so Chutzpah is actually and I didn't even know you could do this. Chutzpah is an extension for Visual Studio that adds on to the unit test projects in Visual Studio the ability to unit test within the test adapter, the testing framework of Visual Studio, unit test JavaScript code. And so usually, you think MS test, you think test adapters, and you automatically think it's testing my C# or my .NET. This Chutzpah thing is a new extension to Visual Studio that allows you to, right in line with all your other unit tests, test your JavaScript. It's pretty damn sweet. I didn't know that you could even develop something like that for Visual Studio, so that was really impressive to see. And then, of course, Jasmine is a JavaScript testing framework, if I remember right.
I'd say that took some chutzpah.
You're right.
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an intense course, but I feel better for doing it. So it was kind of cool. And the MVA course I took was on Hey Esteban. The MVA course I took was on Entity Framework 6 Plus and up to 7, and that was pretty intense as well. It was like 6 hours long, and it went start to really deep into Entity Framework, so I feel better about that too. So yeah, that's my affirmation. I've learned a lot in the past week over the long weekend and everything, and I'm feeling good.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Aaron Andrews. You guys are so supportive. I knew there was a reason I liked you guys.
Well,
wow, crickets. Where's the crickets?
since you're our friend.
There we go.
Robert,
All
what
right.
you got?
So, did any of you have one of your tweets favorited by Rob Lowe today?
Favorited? No. Who cares about favorited tweets?
No, you did. Hey, like I said in the Slack room, it ain't an RT, but I'll take it.
Was it Rob Lowe spelled L-O-W?
No, it was
That
the
might be a different guy.
real Rob Lowe.
Okay. Well, I'm just reading the show notes, so.
But was it peaked in high school, Rob Lowe?
Yeah, I should probably. Yeah, I forgot the E on that in the show notes, didn't I? Why am I correcting that in the middle of the show?
Excessive body hair, Rob Lowe?
It was. I've got a new skincare line, Rob Lowe.
Wow.
Yeah, he's coming out with like a whole skincare line called Profile for Men, and I don't use stuff like that, but I look at him and he's over 50, and I'm like, if he's been doing this shit that long, guess what? I'm going to as well. So I just funnily tweeted, "Hey, I'm 45, I'm gay, and you look older than I do." It's like, when does it go on sale, and what's my discount? He didn't answer me, but he favorited it. So
What's up, then?
I'm going to take that as a win.
I find it cute that you think that just because he's putting his name on it, he actually uses it.
He actually does.
Really?
Yeah, I watched the interview with him about it.
So where did it come from, and how long has he been using it, and why is it just coming out now?
Well, he's
So
been
awesome.
using certain types of skincare products for a while, and now this is a line that he's working to develop under his brand.
Interesting.
So,
Well, you let me know how it works. If it works as well as
I
a
mean,
Harry's
he's
razor, I'll sign
he's
on.
not in there with the chemistry set mixing this stuff up himself. That's not how this thing works.
Mad scientist Rob Lowe.
Right. Mad scientist Rollo, exactly. And then, of course, Gabe Ball. He's just fun. He's just funny sometimes, and he puts up with a lot of shit from people. Like, I tweeted him this morning about the build, and then it's like anytime people like jump on your tweets to like ride whatever hobby horse is their pet peeve, and because they responded to me, they think that replying to my tweet is going to somehow get a response for their inane bullshit. So it's just funny all day watching people say ridiculous things like, you shouldn't even have an OSG ring, you should just push it out to the fast ring, and you have to remind the dumbass they have to make sure it's not going to destroy somebody's computer. Well, they push it out to 3 million users, dumbass. So it was just, I can't even imagine having to put up with that kind of stupidity all day long.
Can you imagine what that conversation went like when they started around Microsoft thinking about the Windows Insiders program? And they looked at some dude and they said, who wants to be participating on Twitter with all of our Windows Insiders? And everybody in the room went, and Gabe was like, shit. Either that, it either went that way, or Gabe went, I've got an idea, and everybody went, dude, you fucking crazy. You go right ahead.
I may ask him on Twitter next time, hey, did you lose a game of musical chairs? Is that how you got this job?
Right. I cannot imagine signing on for that kind of abuse, like you said.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Thick skin.
Very thick. Those were my affirmations. Tim? Oh, wait, Tim didn't show up tonight and didn't even call in sick.
Andy, did you have any affirmations?
I think I had some, but I forgot to write them down.
How about that dude that got 9 bogeys? Is that an affirmation? Do you not like that golfer by chance?
Dude, they got 9 bogeys.
Yeah, Rory McIlroy or something or other.
Oh, that golfer.
Yeah, that golfer.
Yeah, he had a bad day today.
Are you a fan? Or are you not?
No,
a
I
fan?
do. I like Rory. Yeah,
Oh, so you feel bad. So that should have been a grievance.
Well, it's golf. I mean, that happens. I'm not saying that I'm better
To a
than
pro
Rory right
golfer?
now. But oh yeah, I mean Tiger's had a couple of rounds in the 80s. Yeah, you get out there in tough conditions and you have a bad day, it can get away from you in a hurry. He'll come back
I have a
tomorrow. He'll
I have
shoot.
many rounds in the 80s and 90s. Alrighty. Well, there's that.
So,
Dude, this is 25 minutes right now.
yeah. So, first part of the show's over then. Move on to the next part. I'm not even going to really
No pause?
do it now. It's
We
not
don't need a
worth it
moment of
anymore.
silence.
There's nobody watching anyway.
0 viewers tonight?
0 viewers. Yeah.
Wow.
And they're all busy watching the spelling bee.
They're probably like, they didn't have one last week. They must have finally given up.
I'm gonna have a word with Paul.
Paul who?
Dale.
Huh?
In his defense, though, it is early a.m.
That is true.
And his,
Well, no, it's not early. Well, I guess
like 2.
think of 2 a.m. as early
That's
a.m.
pretty early, yeah.
I don't know who we're talking about.
Let's see. I'll give an affirmation to Rush, because 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I was at their show here in St. Louis. It was the 4th show. Yeah, the 4th show of their new tour, and it was awesome, as I would expect from Rush. Probably their last big major tour, because they're, like 60 years old now, and
I was just going to say, so nobody broke a hip on stage or anything.
well, their drummer apparently has tendonitis in his arm, and their guitarist, I just found out, has been dealing with arthritis for like the last 10 years. So, but it's getting to a point, I guess, where he has a lot of issues with it. So.
I was just going to make a really bad joke. I'll make it off the air.
Well, essentially we are. I mean,
It might have actually crossed the line, so I'm not going to say it.
and that would be different for us. How?
We edit, right? We can edit that out. We can edit that out. As Craig Ferguson always says on his show. We'll edit that out. We'll edit that out.
Craig Ferguson didn't have a show anymore.
That's true. I'm so sad about that. I saw him in person. I saw his stand-up. God, I love that guy. He's awesome. So funny.
I always, when I would catch clips of course, I'm so old I don't stay up late anymore. But when I would catch clips of the Late Late Show, he was pretty funny.
He was hilarious. We got hooked on it birth of our first child because we were up so late in the hospital. We finally saw it, and then it was like, dude, that guy's hilarious. And then we DVR'd like every episode since.
Paul Dale says he is up watching, so apparently the Hangouts window is reporting incorrectly that we have 0 viewers. So thank you, Paul, for staying up.
Yes, thank you, Paul.
You're the only one that really loves us.
And for that, you get somebody do the applause.
Our thanks. I don't think it ever works when I do it.
Oh, that was wrong. There you go. Okay, so are we in the Shoot the Sheet segment? Because I put a tweet up there.
We're in whatever segment you want it to be. I think the kid from St. Louis just won the spelling bee. I think that's breaking news.
Wow, cool.
Maybe they both won. I think they're. I'm not sure what's going on because I don't have volume.
Congratulations, Missouri.
Well.
Congratulations.
There you go.
To everybody that can spell.
So one of my followers, he's pretty active. His Twitter handle is DarkCurious, DarkCurious. He tweeted at me, and he said he thinks Microsoft is inquiring to buy BlackBerry. And he actually cited 3 different links. And I know he listens to the show, so I know he would kind of want us to put this as a point of discussion. And I'll be perfectly honest and say, I haven't looked at the links at all, so I'm going to look at them live on air. The first is a blog post, it looks like, from Alex Saunders, and I don't know who that guy is. I'm guessing I should. He used to work for Microsoft. He's been gone for 14 years. And one of the first companies he's reached out to after leaving BlackBerry, it was natural that one of the first companies I reached out to after leaving BlackBerry would be Microsoft. So he worked at BlackBerry as well. And as of last Monday, he rejoined Microsoft in the role of tech evangelist. So that's kind of interesting.
In Canada.
In Canada, so
where RIM is
Rim shooting.
No, see, and then see, I totally paused because I was like, oh, I said the word RIM. One of these guys is going to make a dirty joke.
we were actually pretty good that time.
For the most part.
And here's a headline that I missed.
BlackBerry.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
BlackBerry's in Canada.
Oh, they're based in Canada.
Yeah.
Ah, didn't know.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes
didn't
sense.
know that? Man.
I don't know anything about Canada because I'm an American.
He's reporting to Googs.
Yeah, Googs, yes, yeah. So, and then the second article is a NeoWin article that I completely missed, saying Microsoft's reportedly evaluating a potential takeover of BlackBerry, and this was 6 days ago. What's that?
Yeah, we saw that one. That was
Saw that one?
a big splash. That was, yeah, you were otherwise occupied that day.
I was otherwise occupied last Friday, and it said last Friday BlackBerry stock jumped 3% on the speculation. So there's another little thing. And then on May 25th, another headline from WallStreetPit.com, BlackBerry calls for more layoffs. It's cutting job offices around the world as it makes changes to its software, hardware, and app side of the business. So that's kind of interesting. Those three things together, ex-BlackBerry, ex-Microsoft, and then ex-BlackBerry person coming back to Microsoft. Microsoft reportedly wanting to buy BlackBerry, and then BlackBerry laying off a bunch of people. Yeah, those three things together do kind of spell an interesting little sequence of events. But,
well, yeah, but the problem with that is none of those are a sequence. None of those taken together are actually a sequence of events.
yeah, but do you think that the layoffs at BlackBerry could be part of a backroom negotiation to buy the company?
Oh, I'm not going to say it's not. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I don't believe that BlackBerry. I don't believe like Microsoft is going to go and go, well, you got to lay off X amount of people before we buy you, and BlackBerry goes, okay. I don't think that happens.
Okay,
I don't think that
I don't know how that works. So
But BlackBerry, part of the guy that's running BlackBerry now, his whole thing is he's a turnaround artist. That's what he does. And he's been cutting jobs, and he's been restructuring the company. Now, I wouldn't put it past them to actually be kind of looking around for somebody. Maybe BlackBerry saying, hey, we're cutting more jobs is their way of saying, hey, somebody come buy us. We're going to be leaner and a better value proposition. That's possible.
Right.
For once, I'm actually not being snarky, but what would anybody get from buying BlackBerry?
Patents.
Patents, yeah, IP.
Lots of IP, actually.
I mean, think about the number one thing.
Enterprise IP.
Yeah, the number one thing that everybody talks about with BlackBerry is BlackBerry Messenger, right? Secure messaging.
Yeah.
If you could get that protocol, get that IP, get those patents, roll it into Skype, boom. You know?
I mean, you look at the government has approved other devices, but the more sensitive places like the internet, they're still using BlackBerries.
Yeah. So
because of security.
Could be there. Could be that.
Yeah, I don't know. I certainly BlackBerry has they have shed a tremendous amount of their hardware people and infrastructure over the course of like the last 6 months, I think, if I remember correctly. So I don't know. Maybe they are getting ready to kind of go down a software route. They could be getting ready to eject hardware altogether. They could be trying to make themselves more attractive to a buyer. Would that purchase? That purchase wouldn't be subject to Justice Department review, would it? Because it's an American company buying a Canadian company. There would be a Canadian review process because it's a foreign company buying.
Well, was Microsoft buying Nokia subject to review? I would assume it was.
I thought it was, wasn't
I'm pretty sure.
it? Didn't they have to go through something? I thought I remember that.
Yeah, but Nokia had U.S. assets.
You don't think RIM does?
Well, Nokia. Well, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying RIM doesn't, but I believe the U.S. entity was a separate entity, technically speaking.
Oh, like it was Nokia Finland and Nokia US kind of thing?
Yeah. I don't know.
But they bought some people in Finland, though, because people in Finland became employees. Didn't they?
No, they didn't buy the people, Brandon.
Well, you know what I'm saying. Jesus. Why you gotta be a jerk about it?
That's what I do. It's what I'm good at. It's what I add to the show.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there would be a Justice Department review, and would they?
I can't imagine that they would find any issues, really. I mean,
No more than
Yeah,
Google
maybe.
buying Motorola,
Oh, I guess that's true.
yeah.
you know?
But Microsoft has already bought one hardware vendor.
And
Yeah.
it's gone swimmingly well.
Right?
We see the fruits of that labor every week when a new budget Lumia is released.
Yeah, if you want a new $50 phone, woohoo!
Hey,
Well,
does
I'm
anybody?
anxiously awaiting whatever flagships they're talking about for July. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
I wanted
watching.
to go.
Oh, I just want to get this out real quick. I'm kind of playing Twitter stream of consciousness, watching my Twitter stream. Does anybody care about open sourcing Windows Forms?
Windows Forms?
Uh-huh. This is a tweet that actually came across my timeline here.
Yeah, I actually see the same tweet. I'm like, really?
Is it a question, or did somebody actually tweet that question?
It's more of a call to action. If you care about open sourcing Windows Forms, you should vote for it here with a user voice link.
Trying to think of what I would do with that, and I can't think of much.
I'm sorry I interrupted you, Robert. You were going to say something way more profound than.
Oh, and this is infinitely more interesting. I'm actually, my gears are turning, like, really, what in this world where everything is going XAML and WPF, why would you? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the reason to open source it. What the hell do they have to lose, right?
Well, I mean,
They're not innovating on it, so let somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I guess from that perspective, I guess I can see the argument.
You know, so
There's always going to be. I mean, there's somebody out there still writing console applications to do some pretty major, hefty-duty crap, and they're.
well, I'm still. I mean, at work, all my work are 2 WinForms apps. At work, every day, I'm in WinForms land every day. If I'm not working on an API or an SDK, I'm right.
Click this link then and vote on the user voice.
Well, that's why I'm contemplating this. I'm like, what would I do with it? I don't think I would.
I think you would take Windows Forms to the next level, Brandon.
I don't think so. I would, and I'd take it to the next level, and the next level is called WPF, so why bother, right? I mean, if there's one thing I could say that Windows Forms could use massive improvement upon, it's the data binding, so just go to XAML and go home. I mean, why even bother? So, yeah, and I actually, to be perfectly honest with you, until I started this job that I have now, 2 years ago, I didn't even know you could data bind in Windows Forms. I honestly had no idea. It was the first time I'd ever seen it. Now that I've seen it, I kind of wish I could unsee it. It's so nasty. God, it's nasty.
Very messy
You ugly.
implementation.
Oh, you ugly data binding in Windows Forms. You ugly. Damn. So
Yeah, I think
maybe somebody could pretty that up. Sure.
Or come up with a new data binding paradigm that makes more sense, isn't quite as messy.
Oh, apparently the other kid that tied for the spelling bee is from Kansas City. So apparently Missouri dominates when it comes to spelling.
Something in the water in that state.
This amazing phenomenon only happens once a year in Manhattan. What is this about?
What amazing! We're just now we're just sitting here on air reading our own Twitter.
This is
what
what we look like when we're on Twitter, everybody. Welcome to my Twitch stream of consciousness.
That is
So Google I/O started today. And
Yes, did you? Yeah, okay. Somebody fill me in because I didn't watch shit.
I tried to watch it live. I mean, I had it on, but it was so uninteresting that it just sort of faded into the background for me, and I wasn't really paying much attention.
We should have had Ed come on the show because apparently he watched the whole freaking thing, and he was like freaking out on me on Skype, saying that Google just takes all the good ideas before Microsoft can implement them. And so I was waiting for some substance to that to come along Twitter or come along the conversation, and I didn't really hear anybody talking about anything revolutionary that Google did today. So I can only assume it was a flop.
One thing I heard that I thought was cool, which was not related to the actual Android OS or anything at all, but they're introducing in the Play Store, I think starting today. So you're a registered Google Play developer, you now have your own page, your own developer page in the Google Play Store that you can actually do what you want with. So you can,
brand it and everything else.
Yeah, put all kinds of marketing text and choose an app that you want to be featured on that page and stuff like that. So that actually sounded pretty cool. But
that'd be cool to like put in your resume, put in LinkedIn. That'd be a really cool link to share out for sure.
Oh yeah. But as far as like when they were talking about the new Android M and whatever cool new stuff is going to be in there, as I was listening to some of it and I was starting to think, well, if you're an Android developer, how long do you have to wait before you can actually start putting this stuff in your apps and having a large percentage of people using it because their device has the latest and greatest OS? And
yeah, because isn't Lollipop still at like 5% or something ridiculous?
Yeah, it's a ridiculous number.
I mean, that's got to be the biggest pain point for Android developers, right? Sweet, thanks for announcing all this stuff at Google I/O. I'm going to go home and play. Wait. No, I'm not, because why would I spend my time doing that? You know, I mean, at least that's the way I'd be thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I used to think some stuff was painful for Microsoft devs. They announced stuff at Build in the spring, and you don't really get final bits until later in the year or whatever. But if you're an Android developer, you're talking about stuff you really have no reason to play with for at least a year or if not more.
Yeah, and I think that I'm hoping, iOS developers have it the best in this regard. They get those beta bits ahead of time, and when iOS launches, bam, every single iPhone gets that damn thing. And I'm hoping that all of these rumors about Microsoft finally cutting the carriers out and delivering the Windows updates directly, I'm hoping they're everything that they claim to be. Now, there's a lot of, well, we said we were going to do this and we did, but it doesn't really end up the way we think or we feel it should end up, kind of like how Verizon was able to block Cyan from completely ever touching any of their phones. That's just ridiculous. That was a firmware update. Fine, block those all day long, but then they didn't even push out the OS. So how much of the next OS of Windows 10 mobile is going to need a firmware update, which the carriers get to control? Those kinds of nuances. I'm waiting to see the rubber meet the road on this situation, and I really hope it's for the better, because I think it would really help the developer situation for sure.
Yeah, and there was some talk of this, when Windows 7 was initially released, that Microsoft had figured out a way to speed up that update process and kind of take the carriers out of the loop if they needed to, and we didn't really see that. So
preview for
I'm staying skeptical.
Preview for developers in the Insider app are basically that. I just don't know why they can't
that's not how it was originally presented, though.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that was the fallback. That's what ended up happening. Andy's right. They never delivered. They said that that's what they were going to do, and they just flat out didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, the carriers were going to get kind of a one-strike deal.
Yes.
They could veto an update one time or something, and then after that, Microsoft could deliver it directly.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that conversation now. Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, that never panned out.
So I'm not going to hold my breath, but I will hold on.
Microsoft is probably going to be on a little bit firmer footing, being able to make the argument mostly because of the core. Because the Windows core, you're pushing out a Windows Phone update. You're pushing it out in the U.S. to a very small number of people. The potential for something to go wrong is much larger. If you're pushing out a critical Windows update to several 100 million computers, then your chances of something like that going awry are much smaller. So that might give Microsoft a little bit more leverage. The actual nature of Windows 10 and how the update mechanisms will work might actually give them a little bit more leverage this time around. But there's no telling. Can you see Verizon going, sure, Microsoft, we'll let you do that without any ability to stop you whatsoever?
Right. And that's where I'm like, I want to, okay, yeah, talk is cheap. I want to see this happen.
Not without a very large cash payment and an insurance policy.
Well, and I think that's one advantage of sort of changing the way the whole phone works, where they've sort of decoupled a lot of the quote-unquote built-in apps to where they're not actually a core part of the OS anymore. They're actually separate apps, and they can be downloaded and updated through the App Store. Things like Office and the Mail app, Music app, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, good point.
Thank you.
What was I talking about earlier when you interrupted me? Because I don't remember.
I don't know if I ever let you really get started with it.
I can't remember it was in my Twitter feed either. I'm sure it was terribly important, whatever it was. No, it wasn't that.
You guys ever played with Power BI? Did you see anything at Build about it? Ever played with it at all?
I haven't played with
I didn't make it to Build, Brandon. Tell me more.
Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry, buddy.
So, Andy, did that feel like a knife in the chest or a knife in the back?
Well, kind of a knife in my big ass, because I didn't really feel it all that much, but I knew it was there.
No, you can go play with it for free, but I'm trying to figure out a cool way to... Right now, it doesn't support a direct pipe to application insights, but I think it'd be pretty damn cool if you could figure out a way to pipe a bunch of app insights data into Power BI and just see what comes out the other end. Scott Hanselman did a really good post, Andrew, if you want to go look it up, about Power BI against a GitHub repo. He threw Power BI against the .NET Core GitHub repo, and it just spat out all of these statistics about the repo. Who commits the most, what hour of the day the most commits are done, what day of the week the most commits are done, all of this different kind of cool stuff. And of course, so I mentioned it on Twitter, and Dima, the program manager of App Insights that started following me after my project, shameless plug, got up there. She said I should upvote it on the App Insights user voice. So anyway, I just thought if anybody messed with Power BI, maybe they know a cool way that I could go get some custom data into it. But anyway.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sure one of the countless viewers will have some input for you.
That's kind of why I brought it up.
Probably hit you up on Twitter.
Sure.
Every
time
I still want to Power BI. Now I'm going to interrupt you, damn it. Every time you said Power BI, all I heard was Power Bottom.
What?
Well, he was talking about piping stuff in and seeing what you get out the other end, and
I found what I was going to talk about earlier. Somebody has submitted a candidate to our new acronym meeting for RDP.
Lay it on me.
I think his name is Noel. It says crisis in code right now, but I think it's Noel. Rectal double penetration.
Oh, see, mine was close. I told you guys to remind me in After Dark, and you didn't. Mine was really deep penetration.
That works too.
Yeah.
I like that. Good. I like that because it's not as gay.
What about what we were going to talk about was skimming.
Were we?
Oh, yeah!
Were we going to talk about that? Really, were we?
Andy had said we were going to talk about it.
All right, Andy.
And now we have.
Take it away, Andy.
Well, there's a lot of words that you can go to Urban Dictionary and look them up, and you might be surprised at some of their meanings on Urban Dictionary.
Now, did you submit a new definition?
I did not, because you have to actually sign in with. What I wanted to do was sign in and submit it under Brandon's name, actually.
You would.
I
would.
I did find one of the definitions absolutely delightful.
Oh boy.
Just kidding.
I meant to go to Urban Dictionary, and I, not really thinking of what I was doing. I typed in skimming.com.
How'd that end up for you?
Not as bad as you might fear.
This site is for personal use. Well, I bet it is.
And look, over here there's fish.
On the right-hand side.
There's
Wow.
fish. Oh, you can drop the fish food. Look.
Fish.
That is cool. You think that's Flash? Or is that HTML5?
Oh, no, that's totally Flash, given the look of this site.
Wow.
That's totally Flash. What is this?
That's
Why?
pretty cool, though. This could actually keep me entertained.
This is somebody's personal website.
Yes.
It looks like it, yeah.
Why would they choose skimming.com? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Maybe skimming is the name of the horse.
Now it's Cody.
Oh.
Well,
Or Maddie.
or Maddie, yeah. Could be Maddie or Cody. There's Gravedigger.
Go Gravedigger.
I wonder, let's see, do we have any dates on this? 8:56.
Why is the JD?
Oh, hover. Go hover back over the date.
It's right at the top here.
Oh, there it is.
2012.
Why is the JDCH Physicians portal sitting there in office hours? What is happening?
Why are you trying to figure out what the site is for?
You know what?
Because I don't know why you would choose that for your .com.
You know what I have to say about this?
The internet is full of neat stuff.
True.
It really is. If you're only listening right
hit
now,
about me. Hit about me.
You're
I
really
gotta
missing
figure this
out.
out. I gotta figure this out.
There's a
So one of
gallery.
the definitions for
Family
skimming
tree.
is a sex act involving rimming, but with a mouthful of Skittles.
Oh, it's the guy's last name. His last name is Skimming, apparently.
Look at Bobby. You can get your name at skimming.com. He'd be happy to establish an alias for you.
Oh, wow. I bet he wrote this definition.
Oh, look, I'm on here.
Andy and baby who? Hogan?
I assume I'm the bigger one.
What the hey is
Let's
happening?
see. What else? Oh, I want to see the gallery. Because
Office handouts?
it's always cool to
No idea what y'all are doing.
This is
look at
amazing.
pictures of people you don't know.
You're damn lucky this
Berlin,
ended up this way.
Skiing in Breckenridge.
That's funny. Well, there's that, for sure.
Okay. So, yeah.
Hi, Twitter. I see you.
Get rid of that,
Come
too.
on.
I saw what you were talking about me in that DM to Bobby over there.
No, I don't even have Slack open.
No, not Slack. Twitter. I saw it.
Huh?
Don't lie.
No.
I'm just
Andrew
kidding.
and I do not DM on Twitter.
And you say that like you don't even want to. God.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying I don't think we have. Oh, we have once. Back on December 8th.
December 8th. What was happening on December 8th that you guys needed a DM?
He was sending positive thoughts our way because of Joey. That happened on the 10th, so it was 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Greg Chimingo's retweet?
No. Who's that guy?
The triplets. One triplet's wearing a shirt that says "I was planned." The middle one's saying "I was not," and the last one says "Me neither."
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I just retweeted
like that.
That's cute. That's
Nope, I saw it. I see it now. Yes. That's funny.
So, did you guys see that thing on Neowin today? Was it Neowin? About yeah, it was Neowin because it was the whole. I remember commenting on the headline. It was the Microsoft shows off an unreleased build of Windows 10 with black and white icons, as if every build Microsoft has shown off hasn't been an unreleased one at the time they showed it off.
Right. What's the? Yeah, I saw the headline, but I didn't dig into it. What's the deal about
Well,
black
all
and
the
white
icons on the taskbar are all black and white.
What the hell?
Well,
the purpose
not all
that
of
is?
them. All of the modern app icons on the taskbar are in black and white.
What the hell's the purpose of that? I wonder.
Well, isn't that... Oh, my phone just asked me how I feel about this build's quality. I don't even know what build I have on my phone anymore.
Must be nice to have 10 on a phone, or not nice. I don't know. How's it going?
I use it for an hour once a week during this show.
Oh yeah, that's right. And what's the phone that you normally use, Andrew?
It is a iPhone 6.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So hey, I should send Andrew a text message, a specific text message with very specific characters in it. Anybody see that news?
Oh, I did see that, but wasn't that a?
Everybody, I'm gonna post Andrew Long's phone number, and everybody text him once an hour. Once an hour with this text.
To reboot his phone.
Did you see it, Andrew? Did you test it?
My 11-year-old sent it to my 13-year-old.
And did it work? Did it reboot it?
Yeah, it worked.
Really? That's funny. I wanted to test it on somebody, but I don't know anybody with an iPhone because I have real friends.
Ooh.
Oh, send it to me.
So do the black and white icons look like this? Can't see that.
No,
That's
can't
a very
see that
bright screen.
at all. Dark theme, damn it.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Cripes all Friday.
Where do you change that? No.
So my 1-year-old got 3 vaccinations today, plus a blood draw from his finger. So that was fun.
And how did he handle that?
He cried for like 30 seconds because he's a frickin' beast. Kid's awesome. He's awesome.
But you don't have any favorites.
No,
No.
I don't have any favorites.
Why is everybody blowing their collective load over Google Cardboard?
I saw some about cardboard too. Brad
better?
Sams tweeted the Oprah video, the Oprah meme. Cardboard. I don't know what they're talking about. Nope, still no focus. But you're talking about the ones off the top, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what
black
they
and
look like.
white.
The
They're
action
black
center
and white.
ones.
Yeah,
This
so it's
is-
basically the Action Center.
This isn't the clock
Well, yeah. No, this
App.
is.
or time or whatever it's called. What app would
Yeah,
this be?
but that doesn't look a whole lot different than this, right? Ooh, did that focus take place?
Yeah, try to.
Damn, that shit's hot, yo. Yep. Oh,
Yeah, so cardboard
Yeah, what is this?
is
Explain.
like, well, I tweeted something out earlier. It's essentially a disposable version of the ViewMaster.
I don't like the ViewMaster, like the
The old
thing
red ViewMaster with the discs in it, you know?
I was just gonna say. I was gonna say it as a joke. I didn't know you for real.
Except instead of the discs, you put in an expensive phone and then it can show video.
And this is supposed to be some kind of virtual reality thing?
Apparently.
I have no. I have no idea what you just said. I literally have no clue what you just explained to me. Try again.
They have literally built a cardboard viewer that you stick your phone in. Do you remember? Did you see?
Yeah. This can't be serious.
Yeah. Well,
Come on.
that's what.
That can't be real.
Yeah. It's a virtual reality viewer.
But you put your.
I'm a little late on that because I didn't.
This is how they put it in the article. Google introduced its virtual reality viewer, a cardboard box with some lenses and a magnet that looks like a plastic ViewMaster toy as a gift at last year's I. So like this is so typical of fucking Google. They take some piece of shitty swag and now it's a product idea.
What?
And they'll abandon it in how long? When people aren't going out and buying cardboard boxes to stick their phone in to look at stuff that they can view.
Shut up.
Yeah, I don't.
Shut up. This is the swag.
Yeah, it was a gift.
That's it.
I hope somebody makes a T-shirt. I went to Google I/O and all I got was a cardboard box.
With some lenses and a magnet.
Shut the front door. Are you kidding me?
So
But
Oculus has Rift, Microsoft has HoloLens, and Google has a cardboard box with some
Are they
a magnet
are they
and some
trying to make
lenses.
fun? Are they trying to make fun of HoloLens and Rift?
I don't know.
I think it started as somebody's, they do those, whatchamacallem, 8-hour projects or whatever they are. You know, where you get, I think it started as somebody's that, and I think it was kind of, not really a joke, but not very serious. But the new version now supports the iPhone as well, so that's exciting.
Here's the funny thing. Go back through I/O, and all the times when the camera's panning the audience, tell me what percentage of people in the audience are wearing glasses. Now tell me if that thing fits people with glasses. Because it doesn't look to me like it does.
Well, the New York Times' picture actually shows somebody wearing glasses, so yeah, you can look at it through glasses.
Well, I mean, this is the front, so you can just hold it out in front of
Oh, you just hold it out.
glasses.
Yeah, but that's annoying. That's ridiculous, guys. I cannot believe that. I feel sorry for the I/O attendees. I'm sorry, guys.
You scroll down and you look at the picture, and the caption says, Mr. Bavor holding the $4 virtual reality viewer known as and made of cardboard. The phone is not included. Yeah, the one thing you need to make it work is the $500 fucking phone.
Well, come to build, we got a laptop. Just saying.
Well, at least that something that got put on the laptop is going to end up being relatively successful and not another thing that somebody's throwing up against the wall hoping it sticks.
Here's what I would say.
This
we've
is-
got a laptop that I can write hologram applications on.
Exactly.
So what now? That's
This
amazing.
is really what
Yeah, that's
cardboard
exactly.
is. That's all it is.
That's what it is. A magnet and some lenses.
That's amazing. I cannot
Yeah.
believe that. Wow.
I'm
That's-
sure
that's a
that next year
stereoscope.
Paul Thurrott will be able to say that there were more Lumias sold in one quarter
Right.
than there were of all the Chromebooks in the world and all the pieces of cardboard that Google sold in the previous year total.
There were
worldwide.
more Lumias sold than in one quarter than there were throughout the entire history than there were sold to the public Google Glasses.
Well, yeah. At $1,500 a pop, that's not a big. But I thought the more interesting one was there were more Lumias sold in a quarter than an entire year's worth of Chromebooks.
Yeah. Speaking of tall Parat,
Yeah, the Chromebooks are big. Those are very popular.
They're huge, yeah.
you guys saw that tall Parat got the scoop on MS Band 2.
Somebody, when I saw you
I think
point out somebody
I'd
at
seen
Microsoft
something
learned
about
their
it
lesson.
before, but
Yeah, so, well, I don't know that he got the scoop, but he did. The article I read said that he is the one who mentioned that Band 2 is being tested internally at Microsoft. I wonder what the changes are going to be. What do you guys think they'll put in number 2?
I think it's going to be a little bit thinner, like this way across. Because
Really?
Yeah, I mean, before I got mine, I hadn't really seen one in real life. I expect it to be a little bit thinner, more like not as thin as like a Fitbit, but somewhere in between there.
Can't do much with the screen, though. They make it that thin. You're not
Well,
going to
you
have an
can
on-screen
shrink-
keyboard.
You can shrink the bezel.
Oh, I see what you're
You
saying.
got a fairly good sized top and bottom bezel there on that screen.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So if they made it just a hair bigger than the actual LCD screen, you think that's what's going to happen?
Yeah, and probably some refinement on the clasp, which generally I'm fairly happy with, but I think I could use some improvement.
I'm expecting 5 days of battery life under quote-unquote normal use, which basically means not using GPS. But I
How
expect
about waterproof? Think they'll go for waterproof? I
Awesome.
think that'd be badass. I'd be really happy with that. That's like the one thing that I wish the band had that it doesn't. That's really the only thing that I would like to see changed about the band. Everything else I love. Mine's holding up great. I have like 0 complaints. I do pretty well at charging it. I very rarely run out of battery. I would just like to see it be waterproof.
I think Tim said something that he had seen some articles that with the exposed charger or
Right.
charging port, that was kind of difficult. But I'd love to see it waterproof as well.
I don't care. They changed the charging mechanism to be more like I think it's the Nike Fuel Band, which is fully waterproof, fully submersible. Just do that. Like I don't care what they do to it to make it waterproof. I really don't.
Could use I don't know how you pronounce it, the QI wireless.
Qi. Yeah.
That would be sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Just lay it down on a charging mat.
Well, somebody tweeted that not that long ago. They had their band sitting on top of a Qi charger, and they said, "I wish this worked."
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Nice.
That would be pretty hot. Just make the charging surface like this, all the way around,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just set it right on there flat like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be pretty hot.
The other
That'd be
thing-
pretty hot.
Like
My
that.
other main issue with the band is, again, before I had one and was able to get my grubby paws all over it, these little rounded parts here on the sides where you can see where it kind of comes out from the band a little bit.
Yep.
I expected those to have a little give to them, so they would like sort of contour to your wrist better.
I wonder why they don't.
Give you a more comfortable fit. So I'd like to see them improve that.
I did have the buddy of mine that came up a couple weeks ago. He had a Fitbit Charge. Yes, I think it was the Charge, and it has the same exact little spot in the wristband. Same bulge, if you will. Same connecting method. That like the 2 screws with like the little, the obvious cap on top of something important.
Yeah.
It had all of that stuff exactly the same, and I was
Yeah.
kind of like, dude, that's kind of interesting that they're so similar.
Well, I mean, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but my guess would be since those are removable covers on there, that there's some sensors behind each of those.
Yeah. Well, I think the batteries are in there too.
Or the batteries.
Could be, yeah.
Something
remember-
clearly important.
I
Yes.
remember seeing the breakdown of the components inside, and I think that's where the batteries are.
Before I just disappear from the Hangout, I'm at 6% battery on my laptop, and my wife is watching TV where my AC adapter is, so I didn't plug in. I thought we'd be done, but we have gone an hour. So
Hell. You don't plug in your laptop, you don't plug into Ethernet. You're a bad podcaster.
I'm a wireless motherfucker.
We have actually gone over an hour, which
We
I
have.
didn't realize.
That doesn't very often happen, and I thought we were kind of
I would like to ask one question though.
fire away.
Does anybody believe for a moment that Daniel Rubino saw and went to Windows Blog Italia and saw that leaked image of that curved prototype screen and decided to write up this quote-unquote rumor, and he didn't see it on WM Power User first? I don't believe that he saw it on Twitter first. I don't believe that he saw it on Blog Italia first, because this article was nowhere but WM Power User this morning. I think almost a full 2 hours prior to, and he indemnifies himself hardcore. Like if you look down at the bottom of the source, it says Twitter via Windows Blog Italia, and thanks this other person for the tip. That all screams, I'm trying too hard not to let everybody know I actually saw this on WM Power User this morning.
Yeah, totally agree.
So I just thought it was funny because I've more than once I've seen some out there kind of rumory thing, and then it suddenly appears from Daniel, literally from Daniel, nobody else, from Daniel later in the day, completely sourced somewhere else. It just happened to roll around to him through these other sources later. Yeah. I'll do that for a second.
Yeah.
Whatever. Where did
apparently that 6% went.
Yeah, that went pretty fast. Huh?
He made a sudden exit. So
all right, well, I guess we're done, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining us. Good show tonight.
Yeah, not too bad, even without Tim.
It's better without Tim. See, now we'll get the test of whether he actually watches it later or not.
Oh,
look who's coming back.
He's back. We were about to disconnect. We thought we were done.
I did it. I was like, okay. Well, I ran out of battery. That's exactly what happened. Then I quick ran out here. My wife was gone. I plugged in and booted her back up. So that was a complete hibernate boot up of a Lenovo Yoga Pro 1 that you all just experienced. All right, so what was the Daniel Rubino curved prototype? What were we talking about? Sorry.
Okay, so this morning, one of the very first things I did was I go and check all the sites. And I did go to WMM Power User, like I do every day, just to see what kind of nonsense they're up to. And they had posted this morning at, when was it? Where was that? It's curved. It was 8 hours ago is what the website is saying. It was the new curved screen Windows Phone part leaks. And it was basically a plastic cover for a display that had curved edges. So that was... so here, this adds even for... So it was this morning at 9:22 a.m., whatever time that was, 16:22 UTC, that Steve Hemmerstoffer tweeted it.
So that's noon 22 Central.
Yeah. So WM Power User picked it up 8 hours ago, and then it showed up on Windows Central at what time was that? It wasn't too long ago, actually. 3:17 p.m. Eastern Time.
So that's 2:17.
Well after.
Yes.
WMM Power User.
Yes.
Well after Windows Blog Italia. Like, I do not believe, like I was telling Andy, I do not believe for a second that Rubino got this from Windows Blog Italia. He may not necessarily got it from WMM Power User, but he like goes through some pretty heavy-duty hoops to like source this article at the very bottom. Source, Twitter, via Windows Blog Italia, and thanks Nathan S. for the tip. Yeah, I bet.
That sounds dirty, too.
Yeah, that does sound a little dirty. But yeah, so I think Andy was in agreement that we feel pretty strongly that he got this one from WMM Power User and just can't possibly say it.
Right, right.
And I personally do not really want a phone with a curved screen, whether it's a Lumia or anything else.
No. No, I think was that the Samsung Edge?
Yeah, Galaxy Edge.
It's a ridiculously stupid, gimmicky thing to do.
Well, somebody said turn it sideways and paint it blue, and it really looks like a taskbar with a start button. I think it was Lance McCarthy who said that back when they started talking about it. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, well, you know what I'm going to say. You said Windows Central. There was your problem.
There was my problem.
That was your problem.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I put out a straw poll earlier about belching during the show.
Oh, about belching. Yeah.
Yes, and the winner so far is... I can't do it. 71% yes. Actually, 71% hell yeah.
Animals.
28%
animals.
Ew. No way.
You have to say that like a valley girl.
Ew.
A gay valley girl.
No way.
No.
Good Lord. Yeah. So I guess we chose for you, Nate. Belching it is.
Seacrest out.